All right, well, so in the previous section, we talked about the type of lights you want to use, and we also talked about the lens on the camera and the positioning of the camera and the subject in front of your green screen to make your depth of field work for you and to get the best use out of your green screen. Now let's position a few lights. So we set up our green screen. You put two lights up, one on camera left, one on camera right. You see the diagram there. And you know how to focus a light. You spot the light in and put the beam center where you want it. So you take your left light and you focus it in on the point that says focus point for the left light, and you flood it out. You do the same thing for your right light. You spot it in and focus it on the focus point for your right light, and then you flood them both out. You'll see that their beams overlap at the midpoint. Well, the reason you do that is the light from, for instance, your right light has a shorter distance to travel to get to the right edge of your green screen than it does to get to the left side of the beam over there in the middle of the green screen. So that'll make that particular light a little brighter on the right than it is on the left. The same with the left light. And remember, we said that the light on your green screen has got to be completely even from left to right. That's why we overlap those beams. Another thing you can do to help with this is use diffusion on your lights. That evens the beam out. I'll usually clip something like 216, 250, that kind of stuff to the barn doors of my light. And also you can use scrims. You use a half scrim on the outside, single or double, to cut some of that light that has the shorter path to your right or left side of your green screen. All that is done to even out the left and right light on your green screen. If it's a big green screen, if you've got a big background, don't be afraid to bang a couple more lights in. Maybe the two lights you have won't cover the entire area of your green screen. So you set a couple down on the floor and hit them on the bottom of the green screen. Set a couple up on top stands to go to the top of the green screen. The trick is you want to get your green screen as even as possible. Then you can see your subject is kind of in the middle of these lights. So you set a couple flags for your left light and your right light to make sure that the light that's lighting your green screen doesn't get on your subject. You want to be especially careful about this if you're using colored gels. If you're using a green gel on these lights for your green screen, you don't want any of that green light on your background, on your subject. So next, we've lit the green screen. Let's light our subject. So you can see here, we've got your camera is down at the bottom of the card and your subject is in the middle. You set up your key light for your subject and you set up your fill light for your subject. Right here I've got a keynote, for instance, as your fill light on your subject, and I've got a focusable light as your light on your key light on your subject. This can be anything, just as long as the level that they're putting out is going to end up with your key light value to be the same as the light on your green screen. A lot of times I'll use scrims for that. Perhaps you use lights, big lights on your green screen, and you end up setting the key light on your subject in close, and they're a little bright. Drop a scrim into that light. And then finally, you put a backlight and a kicker on your subject. Now, the direction they're coming from, frequently you have to put those on tall stands to get them over the green screen onto your backlight. Obviously, you don't want to set them in your shot. If you don't have a grid overhead to hang them from, you've got to set them up on tall stands to get them over the green screen.